The Attleboro Big Read recently held their keynote celebration. This year's Big Read book is When the Emperor Was Divine by Julie Otsuka. The book tells the story of a Japanese family who endured the internment camps during World War II. The keynote speaker for this year was Margie Yamamoto, someone who had first-hand experience with the effects of the camps. Ms. Yamamoto was sent to the internment camps with her family at a young age, and her presentation centered on the story of her family. To learn more, we spoke with her after the event.
When my family was incarcerated during World War II, I was just an infant, and I don't remember any of it. But I've learned a great deal about it through family stories, told mostly by my mother. We'll be seeing much of this story through her eyes. Let's start by meeting her. Hi, my name is Margie Yamamoto. I'm here at the Attleboro Public Library to share with the folks here my story of my family's immigration to America and the experiences we had before, during, and after World War II. The Japanese Americans were incarcerated during World War II by our government merely because they were Japanese. This whole talk started when I was writing my family history, and at the same time I was giving talks about the World War II incarceration of Japanese Americans in the public schools. I found that the story as a third-person story did not have as great an impact as when I told it as a personal story of what actually happened to my family. And so ever since then I've been telling this story in colleges, in offices, in different venues. About 1 month later, on March 24th, the first of a series of mass evacuation orders was issued to the rest of the West Coast Japanese population. The two posters on the right gave specific instructions to the Japanese. The plan was to move all persons of Japanese ancestry out of the Western military zone as soon as possible. This involved 120,000 people. On this map, you can see where the military established that zone, along the western states from Arizona all the way up the coast to Washington. Because it was impossible to build the more permanent camps quickly, the Japanese were first taken to temporary quarters in 15 assembly centers, mostly in California, where they were confined at racetracks and state fairgrounds. In 2.5 months, by June 5th, 1942, all 120,000 persons of Japanese ancestry were removed from their homes in the Western Military Zone and placed in these temporary assembly centers. They were taken from their homes and instructed to bring only what they could carry with them. 2/3 of them were American citizens. They were taken from orphanages and hospitals. They were taken if they were found to have even 1/16 Japanese blood. That means they were taken if they had a great-great-grandparent who was Japanese. They were taken regardless of age, from the oldest to the very youngest. I just want to stress the fact that this was done by presidential order, and something like this could happen again anytime to any group of people if their religion or ethnicity disagrees with whatever the political nature of our government at the time. I think it's an important story. It happened 70 years ago, but it's an important story that has to be repeated and told because we don't see it in our history books. And it's something that we're going to have to go out and find the story in order to understand what happened.